now recognize the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Jackson, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Thompson. Great to see you again, and glad we've reconvened. Once again, Secretary Vilsack, I am honored to call you the Secretary of Agriculture. I can rest well knowing there's something in Washington that's working exceedingly well, and that's your advocacy on behalf of all of Americans and our food security. Specifically, I'd like to ask you about research has shown that individuals in rural areas and small towns participate in SNAP at higher rates than individuals in urban areas. Additionally, USDA's Economic Research Service recently found that SNAP benefit spending disproportionately increased economic outputs in rural areas when compared to SNAP economic outputs in urban areas. Can you address the misconception that SNAP is a program predominantly utilized in cities and elaborate on how SNAP supports rural communities and combats food insecurity in rural areas?
You know, Congressman, I think there are a lot of misconceptions about SNAP, and I think it stems from who people think are on SNAP. I think people find it surprising that a significant number of people on SNAP are actually working. I think most people outside of those of us who know about the program think that it's all about people that aren't working. In fact, it's people that are working. I think there are the belief that there are a lot of folks who are able-bodied and should be working. The reality is that's a relatively small percentage of the SNAP population. I don't think people realize that senior citizens are a population in SNAP. People with disabilities are in SNAP. Working families are in SNAP, and a lot of children are involved in that SNAP program. So I think it starts and begins with the misunderstanding about who's receiving the benefits of SNAP, and then from that you begin to think that that must be an urban-centric group of people, but it's absolutely not. It's across the country. It's wherever poverty is, and poverty is everywhere.
And so a follow-up question on that, you've heard of the practice of corporations actually steering people to these benefits on SNAP. Could you elaborate on that?
There have been in the past companies that have suggested or have encouraged or have made available information about programs. I don't know if they are aggressively suggesting people sign up, but making them aware of. And I think that's part of the challenge. I mean, it's a balance.
So can we conclude that there's a struggle for American workers and food insecurity is a major issue within the country?
There's no doubt that there are many, many, many working poor with the emphasis on working. People who are working a part-time job, multiple part-time jobs, or a full-time job at a minimum wage. You know, if you know this, if you raise the minimum wage, you would reduce the SNAP population by a significant amount.
A follow-up question regarding the economic benefits of SNAP. The USDA has been very successful in getting more small businesses to participate in SNAP. Is there anything Congress needs to do to support this work? Can you elaborate more on how SNAP is benefiting our farmers, retailers, and the overall economy, in addition to servicing low-income households?
Well, the reality is if people have the ability to buy more product at a grocery store, they're going to do it. And when they do it, it means that everybody in that supply chain, from the person who stocked it to the person who packaged it, who processed it, who produced it, who transported it, those jobs are all connected in event. And if you look at some of the major retailers, you'll find that a significant percentage of their business is SNAP-oriented. So if you take SNAP and you reduce it or you eliminate it, you're obviously going to impact not just the poor families that are receiving it, but you're also going to impact all those people whose jobs are somewhat dependent on it.